Hey everyone, so today I was asked why I like comic books so much, and I don't really know how to answer that question. I just love to read them. I remember my buddy Caleb, he started with the Batman story, and then from there I wanted to read Superman stories. I don't know if it was a competition or what, but that's kind of where it started. And so from there I read more DC, and then I went into Marvel, some X Men. But I decided, the reason I like comic books is because of the stories that they create and the emotional investment you feel when you're reading something. And, through the power of pictures, the illustrations, you have a much more clear picture in your head that everybody can kind of cross promote and cross understand. So, what I decided to do is I'm going to do a little series where I talk about the most essential comic books to read before you die. And of course, this is all my opinion, so you don't have to go by it if you don't want to. But I highly recommend that you read these stories because they significantly changed my life, and they might significantly change yours as well. First of all, we have Aquaman Volume 1, The Trench. This is part of the New 52 that Jeff Johns, Ivan Reis, and Joe Prado beautifully put together. If you don't know shit about Aquaman, if you want to know, and if you want him treated right, this is the Aquaman for you. Funny, rich, exciting, violent, lots and lots of fun. This is what really got me into respecting Aquaman more as a character, because I always thought he got a lot of flack. But what Jeff Johns does very well is he humanizes the character, has him fight really sick-ass creatures, and at the end of the day, you're like, okay, Aquaman is pretty fucking awesome. If you're a Batman fan and you still haven't checked out Batman R.I.P., go do that right now. If you like your Batman stories confusing, filled with beautiful art, and are basically a detective story, but really bring everything together as to who Bruce Wayne is and why he is the fucking Batman, and why Batman is as terrifying as he actually is, you need to pick up this book. Grant Morrison, Tony S. Daniel, they put together a story that's so intricately complex that the payoff at the end might have you scratching your head, but you're like, okay, yeah, this is the Batman that I've invested myself into. Check this out. This is a must-read. There's no such thing as a good Superman story. Superman's boring, you say? You're wrong. Check out Superman Brainiac. This story will mess you up. It's emotional, it's investing, it's short, but it's such a great read. There's so much to it that really humanizes Superman, but more importantly, it has so many beautiful, heart-wrenching scenes. Brainiac is a really terrifying villain, and this reimagining that they put him in, and the artwork by Gary Frank and John Sibbald is just beautiful. My favorite artists. Everything about this is wonderful and just screams, please make me into a movie. Please, you won't be sorry. Check it out. Infinite Crisis by far is my favorite big time, big stakes, crossover, all-encompassing event that DC has ever put together. It's better than Crisis on Infinite Earths. It's better than Final Crisis. Infinite Crisis has it all. It reestablishes the continuity. It brings back old characters, gets rid of old characters. It's so exciting that when I was reading this comic, I felt so emotionally invested in the characters that when someone died or something crazy happened, I felt it. This is one of those stories that isn't just like a normal read. You read it and you actually feel for these characters. You grow attached to these characters. And the best part is it's such high stakes when there's new reveals and new things that happen. You're just like, oh God, what am I reading? This is essential for comic book readers. If you're not really into comic books and you don't have a lot of background into the DC universe, please check out some other stuff first that we'll talk about in this series. But more importantly, once you do that, come back to this book. I guarantee you will not be sorry. Arguably one of the best things DC Comics has ever done. Gifted, Dangerous, Torn, Unstoppable. Joss Whedon, John Cassaday, thank you so much for creating arguably the greatest X-Men story ever, my personal favorite, Astonishing X-Men. During their run of the Astonishing X-Men, I don't think I've ever read better X-Men writing. The characterizations of these characters is quite amazing. Emma Frost, Beast, Wolverine, The Return of Colossus, Kitty Pryde, and of course, you find out exactly why I love Scott Summers, the OG motherfucking gangster, Cyclops. The writing is good. No, it's better than good. It's phenomenal. The action is great, keeps you on the edge of your seat, and if you're an X-Men fan and you have not read these stories, you're missing out. The internet talks nothing but good things about this story, and there's a reason for that, because it's that damn good. If you like X-Men, you don't know where to start off, I recommend reading some other things first. But Astonishing X-Men is one of those stories that is just going to significantly change the way that you read comic book stories. This is comics at its best. And please really enjoy it. Please check it out. If anything else, check out this story.